Hello, Muse. It has been a hot while since we've had our little tete-a-tete. Now, you understand why I was gone. I was in the middle of a show, and I didn't have the creative bandwidth to do all the things that I do all the time. So I had to put away some of those things. And one of those is our little conversation, and I missed it. I missed it so much. I missed having this little one-on-one with my muse, that intangible entity that helps me be creative in the ways I can be. Now, a lot has happened since we last talked, most of which involved the show that I was in, and very little happened in the ways of me writing, because that was another thing I had to set aside. I had to set aside my writing because it had been 10 years since I'd done a show, so I was nervous, and I just didn't have it in me to spread everything so thin. So it was challenging. It wasn't challenging. It was good God, it was fulfilling. I felt like doing that show filled up a hole that had developed in my soul, something that was desperately needed for me. And now I feel invigorated and can come back to the craft of writing with a new energy. Now, of course, I'm going to be probably doing another show soon, probably starting rehearsal in July, but I don't think this time I'll have to kind of set everything else aside, which is good, because right now I'm going through the edits of POTUS, and that's going pretty well. I mean, it's foolish for writers to hide behind the process. And my editor, I love her to death, and she does such a good job with making me better. And I always get this kind of sick joy out of seeing other writers just kind of glossing over the fact that they pay someone else to make them read well. So, yeah, it's just the way it is. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today, Muse. I want to talk to you about something that was reaffirmed during the rehearsal process of Die Mommy Die. And it relates directly to my writing as well. And it's something that I try very hard to impart on both new actors and new writers, because I think it's important, and it's not necessarily a technique, or a method, but it is a part of the craft that is so very often overlooked. And I think that it is also, at the same time, the single most important aspect of both crafts. And it's something that was hammered home to me while I was in graduate school at Purdue University. And that was part and parcel to the Meisner technique of acting. And what I'm talking about is instinct. I feel very fortunate as an actor when I approach a role. I don't tend to have to rely on a lot of research and all of that. I don't have to go out in public and people watch and things like that, because what I tend to do as an actor while I'm reading a script for the first time is I latch on to key elements of a character, be it through the relationships they have with the other characters, or the relationship that character has with a possible audience, the relationship the character has with itself, the relationship that character has with the universe or God or anything. And also the language with which the character uses. So I latch onto those things, and I allow my instincts to take control and dictate what this character is, who this character is. And so, for example, when I was first started working with Die Mommy Die, I didn't think about it. I didn't have to go on this pedagogic journey with the character as I was developing, the backbone, the spine, all of that of what this character is. It became very clear in the storyline and the verbiage that the character used what that person was about. And it became, Angela Arden became a survivor who would do anything she had to do to survive. And from that, my instinct took control and just said, this is what this character is. This is how this character sounds. This is how this character moves. This is how this character walks. This is how this character does blah, 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 blah. And so it just, for me, and this is the way it always happens for me as an actor, it just happens. Everything, I allow it all to become organic based on what my instincts dictate for the character. And then I rely on the director to go, I like this choice. I don't like this choice. Can we take this choice that I don't like and kind of twist it into something that I like? And it has worked for me 99.9% of the time. It's a rare occasion that I go into first rehearsal of a show and a director say, no, that's not working at all. You need to try something else. And so I think, and yes, this kind of method for me happened because of studying Meisner at Purdue, and because it's a very instinctual based method of acting. And it was because at that time, it was that time that I was in the beginning processes of writing stories. And I think because those two things coincided, as an author, I realized for me it was crucial that I blend those two crafts together such that as a writer, I would simply rely on my instincts to help tell the story and help decide who a character was, what their relationships were, what their needs and wants were. And so I think it's served me fairly well. And, there have been very rare instances where my instincts have taken me kind of off the wrong path, onto the wrong path, and it's really easy to fix. And usually when your instincts, and this kind of also ties into how I visualize as I write. Usually if my instincts take me off on the wrong path, as I write a book, I generally try to envision it as a movie or as a show on television. And if all of a sudden I'm unable to envision it, I know that I've done something wrong. And so then I can go, wait a minute, instincts, no, this way. But that rarely happens. And I try to, when I talk to new writers about my process, and granted, this may only work for me. Who knows? But when I talk to them about it, I say that I think that it is important at some point in your career to let go of all the trappings of trying to tell a story, of outlines and all of the tools that people use with their note cards or their boards and all of that, and just let go and allow your instincts to take control and tell the story for you. And it's a very freeing thing, because all of a sudden you're not dictating what this story is by way of your personal filters and your personal experience. You're just letting it happen. And I think I think that that's when we've all heard authors say, well, I just let the characters write the story for me. I think that's really what they're saying. I think they're saying, I just allow instinct to take control, to take the steering wheel and drive the car through the universe of the story. And I think that that is what they mean. And it is such a freeing concept. And to truly write something organically, that just when you can finish up a story and say, it just happened. I just wrote the first word, and then all of a sudden, I wrote the last word. I don't know how it happened in between. It just happened. And I think that although that may seem like it's such a serendipitous thing, that you just kind of, let go and let the muse take control. It's just you trusting in your ability, your innate ability to hear a train in the distance. There's a train coming. Your innate ability to tell a story. Wow. I think I need to go oil the train tracks. Wouldn't that be interesting? You're sitting there right before a train comes by with an oil can. And then, of course, the train goes whee, slips off the tracks, and insanity ensues. Chaos ensues. So, and I know that there are a lot of writers out there that are like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. And to do that, what I highly recommend is practice with stream of consciousness. Just take a pen and a tablet of paper and put the pen down, and as soon as the pen is on the paper, you just start writing, and you don't stop. You don't let your brain tell you what to write. You just write. You set a timer for 10 minutes, and you just keep writing. And you'll be surprised at what comes out. A lot of times you'll see lines and lines and lines of gibberish, but every so often something will be like, whoa, where'd that come from? Oh. So that's a great exercise. And, do that with just, a 10-minute entry. And then next time once you practice that a little bit, then you try a piece of flash fiction, and you just start writing, and you just see where it goes. And you don't let your brain take over. And it's just like one of the things that I'm doing right now. The next show that the next show that very likely I will be in is a musical. And it's been a long time since I've been in a musical, so I've been having to go back and trying to retrain my voice. And right now my allergies are just ridiculous. Either that or I have a cold. And one of the things that I'm finding is that in attempting to get the muscular memory back for singing, my mind is getting in the way. My mind and my body are getting in the way. And it's one of those things where I just have to let it go and just let it happen. And you have to trust in that you have developed the skills. You have the foundation of skills already set. And once you have that foundation of skills, you can simply just let go and let it happen. So, yeah. My phone is ringing, and it's my wife calling me. So I better shut up, Muse, and answer the phone for my wife, because otherwise she'd kill me. She won't kill me. Not really. But anyway, writers, actors, just let go and let it happen. It is a beautiful thing when you can do that, okay? And Muse, you and I have such a strong relationship that I can do that. I can just let go and let it happen. So, anyway, Muse, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for indulging me this time that I needed to take off to do other things. And thank you for being there to help me through that show, because otherwise I think I probably would have crashed and burned instead of getting standing ovations. Did I say that? Oops. Anyway, thank you, Muse. You are awesome.